Hello there, welcome back. Today is a double bill of horror. The reason I'm doing it is because I'm going to do some foul looting films soon. So these two horror movies to talk about, I thought I'd just do them together. The thing I should say about horror to start with is horror movies don't scare me at all. I mean, a rare one does, but most of the time they don't. I view them as fantasies, dark fantasies. I don't really get scared by any tricks anymore. I'm too old for most of the tricks. I just like the way they're set up and things, but usually they don't really get to me. So I'm going to talk about John Carpenter's The Fog and Bernard Rosie's Candyman. Now, The Fog is a classic Carpenter film from the late 70s. It was made just after Halloween, and it was made just before Escape from New York. So it was in that peak Carpenter period. This is the kind of anomaly of these films, because he started off with Dark Star, then it was Assault on Precinct 13, then it was Halloween, then it was this, then it was Escape from New York, then it was and then it was The Thing. This one's the least known of all those, or the least acclaimed of all of these films. All the rest of them are more acclaimed than this one. This one's kind of the kind of weird, kind of it's liked but it's not loved, is the best way to put it. And that was the way I viewed it as well for a long time. I just thought it's okay. There's plenty of Carpenter films I like more than this, but it was good. It was enjoyable, but I never really got into it that much. It was the kind of the one that's just kind of there. A friend of mine, Gavin, loves it. He loves this one. I think it's his favourite of the Carpenter films. But me, it was never really affected me that much. Even though I love ghost stories, I love atmospheric films, didn't really get to me. But it's just saw in a remaster Studio Canal did. It's a 4K remaster, so even though I only saw it in 1080p, it's still really well done. And with the sound system on, you can get the atmosphere. It really works a lot better. So it's one of those films that you need to see in a proper environment to really get the full effect of it. Plus you need to see it 2:3:5:1 ratio to get the full feeling of the framing and the way things build. So the whole idea of the film is that there's we're in this like Californian town, and they're celebrating their centenary. 100 years ago, the town was built, and they're celebrating that. During the day before the centenary, a fog starts to form and come in on the sea, which leads to a boat being attacked and everyone in the boat killed. There's only 3 guys in the boat and they're all killed. And then as the centenary day occurs, they start investigating the death of these 3 men in the boat, and the fog starts to come in. And within the fog there were these kind of zombie creatures who represent the men in this boat that were leapers who had money that the town people who came from the town stole. Basically, they made these lepers crash into they conned them to think the land was further away than it was. They crashed into this rock, they all died, and they got all the gold, which helped build the town. That's the backstory. Now 100 years later, these ghosts are coming back. You see the ship through the fog as well, which looks gorgeous. And the story is basically people from the town 100 years later try to work out what happened and how to survive as the fog comes in and it starts to try and pick them off. There's 6 people who have to die because there were 6. So there were 6 plotters and there were 6 people who caused all these deaths. So that's 6 people who die to make up for the people who killed them. So you start counting down as the film goes on. There's 3 people have died, and there's 4. You know, you're counting down to who's going to get it. And so there's some close calls. There's people die, people escape, and the fog keeps moving forward through the town. And you're never quite sure if the fog's just a fog or the fog's full of zombies. It's kind of that thing. And it's just a wonderful film. It's really atmospheric. It really does build. You actually have to see it with the sound system on, have it all dark, decent sized TV just to get the atmosphere and the way Carpenter frames things, the way he cuts things, the way the build continues and continues and continues. It's a film about atmosphere. The atmosphere is the film. And it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. I mean, there's lots of actors in it who you'll know. There's Hal Halbrook, Jamie Lee Curtis, Janet Leigh. Janet Leigh and Jamie Lee Curtis in one film, in the same film together. But they're barely in any scenes together, so don't get too excited. Tom Atkins, who was in a few Carpenter films at the time. Charles Cyphers. There's lots of Carpenter actors in this. But Adrian Barbeau's in it. A lot of good actors, lots of fun character actors. No one gets the top billing. There's no like one central character. Everyone's got it's an ensemble where everyone has a moment. And because it's an ensemble, some of these people you see will die. People who are Carpenter favourites, some of them will all die. So it's good that way. So it's a wonderful film. It's just so well done. It's so well crafted. It's one of those films to talk about. You don't want to give away any of the good scares or any of the good atmospherics. It's just so beautifully done. Just the way that the score's wonderful. It's just creepy and building and building and building. It's not as perfect a suspense machine as Halloween. Halloween is a much scarier film for me. I think it's a much more well done because you first time see Halloween, the proper circumstances, it's scary. This one's creepy and interesting and weird. And it's wonderful to watch. The characterization's all fun. All the actors having fun with their characters. Everyone gets good lines. Everyone gets good little moments. Good little moments either show that they're nice characters or they're bad. And everyone gets some smart arse comments. It's all really wonderfully done. It's nice to hang out with these characters and watch them as they go through the film. Because Carpenter does give like what you call hangout moments where you're just with the characters. They're not in danger. It's just the build before you get to the danger and you're just seeing them interact, and that's what's so good about it. So that by the time you get to the horror scenes, you care enough to see if they live or die, and that's what's missing in a lot of horror movies. Sometimes you don't really care. There's a bit of time on the characters, but this film it does. And because Carpenter's framing everything properly and lighting everything properly, when the scares do come, there's an effective threat and there's an effective sense of dread, and it's just wonderful to watch and experience. So it's a wonderful film. I don't want to get into any details about what happens in it, because you can, from what I've said, I've told you the basic setup, and that's some of the joys having to explain all that, but some of the other joy is just seeing how it unfolds and what all the moments mean. But I would definitely recommend getting the Studio Canal restoration because it looks beautiful, it sounds great, there's some nice extras, it's all wonderfully done, it's a great package, it's just highly recommended. So on to Candyman. Candyman is a Bernard Rose adaptation of the Clive Barker story The Forbidden. I saw this one in the cinema when it was first released when I was a student, and it was one of the few films that scared the hell out of me. It doesn't anymore, but it's still a very well made, very enjoyable film. Bernard Rose is one of the most underrated horror directors. He does other films outside the genre, but he does some really good horror movies. He's done this one, he's done Frankenstein. He did one, Paper House, that I haven't seen for years, so I can't really remember Paper House, but I know it was good. I read some reviews saying how good it was. But it's been so long since I've seen it, it's like this vague memory. I saw that before I saw Candyman, it's so long ago, it's like I can remember a couple of moments, that's it. So it's all gone. But Candyman, you don't forget. Candyman is just a wonderful atmosphere. It's got a great villain, a great heroine, and a great setup. Basically, Candyman is this urban legend in a kind of black urban environment in Chicago. Like, they all talk about Candyman, this figure, this son of this freed slave who his father had money, who was lynched and murdered by these whites for, falling in love with this woman, and a white woman, and so he was brutally murdered. And then since then there's been this legend of Candyman, this horrible creature who coming prey on the kind of underclass, the black underclass in Chicago, and it's just this monster. So he's the thing they fear. And Helen, who's played by Virginia Madsen, is a graduate student. She's trying to do her masters on urban legends, and she's married to this professor who's obviously cheating on her, and she's investigating the legends with her friend, and they're trying to work out the legends of Candyman for her thesis to try and get their masters. And they start going and investigating the legend and start investigating where it came from and all the rest of it. And they slowly get sucked into the legend. And then there's a jump. Now that's when I spoil territory now. So, if you haven't seen it, we don't go any further in this video, because I don't want to spoil to talk about the film. Okay, basically there's a jump, and then Helen wakes up in this apartment from the area she was investigating with blood all over her. There's a dead dog, a baby's been kidnapped, and she's now blamed for the killing. And she thinks she's seen Candyman, the mythical creature, and she thinks he's doing it and blaming her, and to everyone else, she's the killer. And that's what's scary about this film. It's about madness, it's potential madness. Is she crazy, or is it Candyman? And they're really building that, because you keep on getting further moments of this lawyer getting killed while you're in the room with her. From her point of view, Candyman did it, but from everyone else's point of view, it had to be her. And there's all these creepy things, like things written on the wall. It was always you, Helen. Could it mean all the murders were her, or was it Candyman's in love with her and she's a reincarnation of his ex-lover? And you never know what it all means. It's just that it's all in your head, because it's from her point of view mostly, so it could actually be all in her head, but it never really tells you. Or it could be Candyman's a monster. There are moments at the end suggesting there's a supernatural element to it, but they don't ever push it too far. I mean, there's enough, because it's a 90s horror film that they want a franchise out of, that they'll push a couple of supernatural elements. But it's still, for most of them, it's still ambiguous enough that it could be in her head. And that's what's creepy about it, the idea of going mad. What's really going on in your head, it's things you don't know about. And as the film goes on, some of her friends start to die, what seems to be at her hand. And it's... So she's got the guilt of the deaths of these people that could be her, but also could be this murderer's ghosts. So it's very creepy, very weird. I mean, Tony Todd plays Candyman. He's a great voice, this classical voice. He's got this grace to him that's wonderful, to suggest the savagery below it. It's very Karloff elements to him, because he can do the Karloff thing of great grace amidst the horror. But there's still a danger that there could be horror coming from him. That's wonderful, and he really plays off Virginia Madsen really good. And all the actors are good, all the casting's really good in this film. There's not that many people in the film, it's a very small cast, so every part really pays off. Xander Berkeley is a husband, her husband, who's cheating on her. And he's a great Weasley character who, you know, is going to come to a bad end. And it's just a wonderfully done film. The atmosphere is great. Phil Glass has a great score. There's great shots floating over the city. A lot of helicopter shots are terrible, because they're just the same bland shot. This one, just looking down, floating, the Phil Glass score moves over the film, and it creates a sense of the supernatural without being too specific. And that goes through the whole film. It could be her mind, or it could be supernatural, and they keep the ambiguity for a long time. It's obviously made by people who watched The Shining and who like that ambiguity, who like that weird creepiness of what's scary is something you can't quite place. And, you know, and the bit that scared me, there's two scenes that scared me in the cinema when I saw it. The first time you first saw Candyman, when I'm telling the story, say the name 5 times in a mirror, and the 5th time Candyman appears. And it's a jump scare bit, and I knew it was coming, but it really got me. In the cinema, I was like, and the other one that really scared me was the first time she has the kind of freak out psycho out, because it's like suddenly it's like, what's going on? It's just suddenly a sense of madness. It's done really effectively, the way it would actually be if you felt you're going mad, and you have no rational explanation for where you are and what's going on. And it's wonderfully done. So the whole movie it's this amazing atmosphere to it. It's really beautiful. I would definitely recommend buying both of these. This one's got a new Arrow release where you get 2 cuts of the film. You get the British cut and the American cut, and which are only very minor variations. You get commentaries, one by Kim Newman and one by Bernard Rose and Tony Todd. You get new interviews with the actors. You get stuff at the production. You get a nice booklet. It's a beautiful package. I'm not sure it's sold out already because it's a really well done package. I definitely recommend the package. So both these films are wonderful. The new Blu-ray releases that are wonderful, that are really worth getting. So I'd highly recommend getting them. There, just they put the effort into these 2 releases. They really put the effort into restoring them, having good extras, having good sound, having good imagery. Plus the films themselves are wonderful. So definitely recommend both of them. Get them as soon as you can. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll be back tomorrow with a sillier review. Okay, bye.